Hey guys, before we begin the video, I just want to say, I noticed a little something looking through my analytics. So, as you can see, my watch time from subscribers, only 9% of my viewers are actually subscribed to the channel, and 90% of you are not subscribed. So if you would consider subscribing, that would make my day. It is completely free, you have nothing to lose, and it really supports me. So click the subscribe button down below, or if you're on phone, maybe swipe up and click subscribe. It really helps me out. And yeah, thank you. I'll see you in the video. Hey guys, welcome back to part 3.5. Well, not back, you haven't been here before, but we are joined by Flashed and Lightning.
One of the OGs.
Woo! So, the reason, well, okay, so you're watching this and you're probably asking, what? Part 3.5? Is that even possible? Are you mentally okay? And my answer to that is no. Now, anyways, the reason we are doing part 3.5 is because in the last part we did datastore, and I got several DMs and comments saying that they wanted to know how to make how to save several values instead of just one, like I did in the video, and it's very complicated using that script, so we are going to make a different one, and it's actually a lot easier. So I would recommend deleting everything in that script besides your values, like I have right here. I added this money thing for the sake of this tutorial, but I wouldn't. You don't have to add money. I'm just doing it because I'm teaching you guys how to save multiple values. I'm probably going to delete this after this video, but I'll keep the same script, but yeah, whatever. So, let's get into it. So, we actually can leave the leader stats be, and we're going to create a fresh script, and I'm just going to name it datastore, like that, and you can just delete this hello world thing. That's just there by default. So, I'm going to try to go about this video a little slower than before because, you know, I felt like I was going too fast because there's people who DM'd me and they like had a couple things spelled wrong, and you know, people were asking for scripts and stuff, so I'm just gonna try to go a little slower so you guys can do it, because the reason I'm not giving the scripts is because I want people to learn, because once they type scripts themselves, then they get better at it and they can learn more things and they'll be able to do things on their own. So that's why I'm not just gonna give you the script, and I apologize for that.
And if you guys comment down in the video, Niox, comment down the scripts in the comments, Niox will probably just delete it.
Yeah, I did that for one of them. And then one person did it, and I just decided to keep it. But yeah, I'm probably not going to allow people to paste the scripts in the description because I want people to learn, you know? So, yeah. So let's begin. Anyways, so we are going to type local ds, which stands for data store, and basically this is creating a variable. So we can access something, we can give it a name so that we don't have to you know, type the entire thing out. So if we wanted to talk about, let's see, the get click script, for example. So this get click script is in game.workspace. So if we were talking about the get click script and we didn't want to type this whole entire thing about game.workspace.get click script, if you didn't want to type that, then you could just create a variable which said local GCS, which stands for get click script, equals game.workspace.get click script, and then every time you want to type this, you can just type this instead. So you're basically just giving it a name. It's kind of like a box, you know, like you're putting stuff in a box and then you put a label on it, and basically when you want to talk about all those things, you can just talk about you can just say the label on the box instead of, you know, saying everything. So that's basically what a variable does, and a variable is always defined by this local thing. So a variable works, you put the local first, then the name you want to set, and then what the value is, or what you're setting the name for. So in this case, we're going to do game : get service, which basically gets one of the services, one of the many services that Roblox provides for you, and in this case, datastore service. You need to make sure that it is in these little quotes. I have autofill on, so I could just type out the whole thing like that. I made the text bigger so you guys could see. I hope it's good enough. The screen's a little stretched out because my monitor is a different resolution than the original 1280 by 720 pixel thing, you know. So yeah, and then we're going to do so after we've typed this line right here, actually it was the same line that we did in the last video, and this time we are going to add to it, we're gonna combine the two variables we did last time together. So we're gonna do :get data store, and we're gonna name it my data store. This right here does not matter at all. You can put like and you can put anything you want in here. It doesn't matter at all. You don't have to type anything different than I do. You can even put poop in here. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put poop in there, okay? Just for the sake of this tutorial. So I'm gonna put poop in there. No, I'm just kidding. That's childish. I'll put cheese in there just to prove it to you guys. You can put whatever you want. And yeah, that's basically it. So now we can type the same thing in the leader.set script, which is the game.players. So this is accessing the player section right here on the right side of your screen. So when a player joins the game, then they will be in this section right here. We have Niox and Flashed and Lightning, since we are both editing the game. So yeah, it shows us both in there. And then we can do .player added. So when a player joins the game, then basically they will this script will run. :connect function. So you're gonna see this connect function thing quite a bit in scripts. This basically just means that something in the game will change when whatever this is happens. So if you put, like, if you made a GUI and when you said when this button gets clicked, then a function will happen, and this is basically the variable we're putting after the function, which basically names whatever happened in here. In this case, when a player is added, so it's a player. This PLR is basically like a variable. It sets the name for whatever player is added. So we can do I believe we need to type a wait right here, and actually nothing in those brackets. So when you put a wait like this with absolutely nothing in it, it is not 0. It's actually a very, very, very small wait time. It's like, I don't know, 0.003 or something like that. I don't know, it's different for everyone depending on how good of a device they have. But this will basically make a very small wait, and you're probably wondering, well, if it's so small, why do we even need it? Well, it basically just gives a little bit of time for the script to load, and that's basically it. So now down here we can type local, which means we're creating a variable. The name for the variable is PLR key. Now we're going to type equals, two little quotes right here, I believe. And then we can type ID, which is the ID of the player, basically. Well, actually, the ID. So we're setting a name. It's basically a string value, or a string. It's holding a string, which is basically text. And then right here, I believe, which is the underscore, we can type plr.user_id. So the player that joined the game, it will access their ID, which basically, if you go to home and you go to your profile, it is if you go to the top, it's basically this right here. This is my ID. It's 727021958. That is my ID. It'll access the player's ID, and the reason we're doing that is because when you access the player's, if you try to do their name, when they change their name, that means their data could be wiped. So that's why we access their user ID, because they cannot change their user ID. So yeah. And then we're going to enter down, and here's where we create variables for the different values we have. So we can type local money, local clicks. If you have rebirths, then you type local rebirths, like that. But we don't have that yet. But if you do, feel free to do that. So then we're going to type local money equals plr.leader stats.money. You You probably know what this means. Since in the leader stats we created a folder named leader stats, and it's inside of the player, the parent, which is basically what it's inside of. So like the leader stats parent is server script service, so the parent is the player, so it is inside of the player. So technically it's called a child of the player. So plr.leaderstats.money is a part of the leader stats folder. So yeah. And then for clicks, we can do the same thing, but instead of money, you guessed it, clicks. So money plr.leaderstats.clicks, and I believe that is all we need to do for that. Now we're creating a new variable which will save the player's data when they first join the game, or it'll. It's a little hard to explain. Let's just get to typing. So we're basically going to access the player's ID here, so we're going to type another variable. There's a lot of variables in every single script. I'm sure there is no script that you will ever type that doesn't have a variable in it, if it's longer than, like, 8 lines or something, I don't know. So we're going to type local get saved value equals get saved, and then these little rectangle brackets, or whatever you want to call them, 1. So this is the first data we will be saving, and then we're going to do clicks dot value equals get saved. We do 3, but I do not have that, so I do not need to type it. So the next thing we need to type is an else, which basically means if the player's data is not saved, then we need to do something. So we can type else, and then I believe we type local numbers for dot value, comma, space, clicks dot value. Do something like that, and you put a comma after every single thing. And actually, you don't need to put a space after, but it's more organized for me, so I like to put a space after each comma, but you do not have to, so it's pretty much up to you. So I guess that's it for the table. And then we can type down here, sorry, we can type ds colon get a sync. So it's basically syncing the player's ID once again, like we typed. Where is it? Right up here. We're basically getting the player's ID and syncing it so that it remembers the thing, and then we can type plr key, just like up here, which is the player's ID, but this time we're typing comma numbers for saving, basically these values right here, and I believe that is all we need for this little function right here. So you can go down to this last end, enter down a couple lines. There's actually these little arrows you can type when you have like a function. So if you just close that, then you don't have to show all that. So if you don't want to have like a big mess there, it'll still work. It's just making things organized for you. I'm going to keep it open in case you guys need it, like if you don't want to pause the video or something. So yeah, but down here, if you focus your attention to the bottom of the screen, we're going to type game.players, basically accessing the players like before. Dot player removing, which basically means when a player is leaving the game instead of joining the game. So like if I were to join the game, then this script would start running. If I were to leave the game, then this next script would start running. So we're going to type :connect function as usual, and in here plr, make sure everything is capitalized the same as I do, and we're going to hit enter, and this end should automatically appear like it always does when you're typing functions. So now if we go ahead and create the same thing as before, basically this thing right here, almost the same. We're going to type ds get a sync, getting the player's ID, so on and so forth. And then I believe, actually no, we do not do this. We do ID underscore dot plr.userid. Basically the same thing as plr key up here, but we cannot access these variables because they are in a different function. They are in a different fold. So if we were to put these up here above this, then we would be able to use them, but we cannot because they have plr in here, which is inside of this function. So we'd only be able to put this in here. So you could write this same exact thing right here. You could put it in heap value. So then again, we cannot use these variables because they are in a different function. So we have to type out this entire thing. You could create the variable again, so you could just copy and paste it if you want, but it's basically just extra work because we only need to use it once. But in this script up here, we used it twice, so it was worth the time. But this time we're just going to type out the entire thing. Then we're going to do plr.leaderStats.clicks, and then right here, my recorder got cut off there, so sorry about that, but we can type plr.leaderstats. My recorder keeps cutting off randomly. It's like randomly pausing, but basically all you needed to type was plr.leaderstats.clicks.value, and then put a squiggly bracket and then the ending parenthesis. Sorry about that. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you need help, then join the Sour Studio Discord, and there will be an option in there to get help from several developers in the group, including myself. And I will leave my Discord in the description. And also, we are joined by Flash and Lightning.
Subscribe to Flash and Lightning. And I already have a teleport GUI video out, so if you want to make a teleport GUI for your game, I will make it Game Pass and stuff for like a week later or something like that. But I'm currently gonna make how to make a 2x speed Game Pass right now, so make sure you tune into that. So if you want to add more game, come to my channel and consider subscribing so you can add more to your game.
Yeah, so if you're watching this video, chances are you're making your own game, and you want to add cool game passes to it, like teleporting and 2x speed, so definitely check out his channel, and he does much more tutorials and Roblox and stuff like that. Did I say the cheeseburger thing already? I don't think I did. If you made it this far, comment cheeseburger down in the comment section, and then I'll give your comment a heart, and maybe even make a little reply, if you know what I'm saying. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace out, boys! Besides the 2% of my viewers who are girls. Bye.